Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Mewtwo Minute. I'm Jay, and today we will be talking about Pokemon cards and how to get them. All the tips and tricks that I've learned, especially in the hobby the way it is, where inventory either doesn't exist or it's scalped into oblivion. So I've been sourcing quite a lot of inventory from a lot of different places for videos on the channel, and here is a bunch of the information that I've learned. First and foremost, there are lots of different places you can buy Pokemon cards. Um, Short answer, just about anywhere and everywhere. Long answer, if it's available. One good place to try is a local card shop. Now, I have found local card shops to be a bit hit and miss. They either don't have inventory because they have reasonable prices and they're bought out pretty quickly, or they have a lot of inventory because they mark everything up pretty high and basically end up like scalpers with a storefront, where they're even above market. And so that's about the only reason they tend to have inventory. I've got about 15 card shops within 25, 30 miles of my house. So I've done quite a bit of research in between, which ones have a lot of sealed and singles and which ones don't have much of anything. Typically, the card shops, the way that they get inventory is they ask a distributor to pre-order Pokemon. The distributor is a middleman entity that Pokemon sends all of their cards to. They simply just produce the cards, sell them to a distributor, and they make the distributor do all of the work of sorting them out to everybody. And because there's such a high demand, the local card shops don't always know how much they're going to get or what they're even going to be allowed to get. I've talked to some card shop owners who state that they will place pre-orders to 4 or 5 different distributors all at once and get a handful of items collectively across all 5 of them. Um, Barely enough inventory to last half a day. And it can be frustrating because they can ask for as much as they want, but they only get allocated a certain amount. So if they set it for a reasonable price, it typically doesn't stick around very long. Another place that you can check is the massive amount of reseller sites, which include eBay, whatnot, Amazon third party, and the shop app. I have used all of these quite often. Each one kind of has its unique specific purpose, and all of them have their upsides and downsides. eBay, of course, you're going to be able to find just about any Pokemon pack or collection in existence, but you're going to be paying pretty much market, or maybe slightly above market or slightly below, but typically it's going to be right at market. Whatnot is a hit and miss thing. I have spent quite a bit of time and energy working with Whatnot. It can be great if you find some of the smaller sellers doing auctions. You can get pretty good deals. They also do giveaways. A lot of people, to gain attention and gain a momentum on their shows, will do a giveaway every 5 minutes of either a pack or free card. So if you enjoy the hobby and you really don't even have money to spend, set up a Whatnot account and you can basically infinitely enter giveaways and win lots of cards and packs for free, and watch people open packs and sell them and not have any risk. But I warn you, it's pretty addictive, and that's sadly how I started spending a whole bunch of money on Pokemon cards. Now, on the other side of that, you will have a lot of people selling usually slightly above market, um, or they will do what's called a kind of like a break. It's like you bid for a slot, and then like a surprise set. There'll be like 100 or 150 entries, 150 prizes. There'll be a bunch of high-end prizes and then floor prizes. And the audience will bid on an entry, and then a prize wheel will spin, and you get one of the entries. Typically, there'll be a lot of floor prizes that will be like really, really cheap, like $1 or $2 per pack. And then there will be a couple of, or a decent amount of chase prizes that could be 50, 60 to a couple $100, the ones that people are going for. And typically, if the floor is $2 or $3 a pack, and the ceiling is 200-300, you'll see 100 spots go from somewhere between like 17 to 45, $50 a piece per slot. And overall, on average, that's how the streamer selling gets ahead. Is if you average up all the slots versus all the inventory they sold, they typically end up being ahead if they have enough of a following. So that's one way to try to get inventory. Very hit and miss, akin to basically online gambling. Not a big fan. I like to pay a price and know what I'm getting without any chance. Amazon third party can be another interesting place, simply because it's listed through their website, but not directly handled by Amazon. These are typically going to be slightly above MSRP, or slightly above market, I should say. Everything at this point is above MSRP. So you will see like White Flare and Surging Sparks. You'll see inventory on stuff. All I did was go to Amazon and search Pokemon cards. And you'll see mystery packs and miscellaneous bundles of most likely not worth their value cards. You'll see some sets. It's pretty hard to get at MSRP or get it at a decent price on Amazon. So it is one way to get inventory, but sadly, unless you happen to catch a very specific MSRP drop, it's not going to be one of the best ways. Another place I have found that has been pretty nice is the Shop app. It connects you to a bunch of different web faces through Shopify. So a lot of card shops will make an online storefront through the Shop app. And so you'll get connected to a lot of local card shops all over the US. Couple of ones that I've seen and been in contact or have run across, like Safari Zone, is an interesting shop that I found on here where they sell, a decent amount of Pokemon cards. And their prices hit and miss, but I will say when they do like massive blowout bundles, they tend to have some pretty decent deals. Here's the 2 new Japanese sets, the Brave and Symphonia sets. Mega Brave and Mega Symphonia. They've got the EV pouch for $50. That's not too relatively bad. Set of black and white in Japanese, $155. So prices aren't too bad. One of the other shops that I will shout out is Smoke and Mirrors. They have some amazing prices that you can buy. I mean, just look at this inventory here. $5.49 for sleeve packs of Destined Rivals, $9 for Silver Tempest, a booster bundle for $40. They have the new Ogerpon collection for $50. Oh, yeah, it's sold out. Ooh, I wonder if these are all sold out. These better not all be sold out. All right, cool. They're showing a whole bunch of sold out things. Let's see. What is in stock? There we go. Let's look at some things we can actually buy. Ooh, don't know if you're into Magic, but that's pretty cheap for the Commander deck. Let's see if they have any more Pokemon. They do all kinds of cards, but there's some Japanese sets. Nope, not looking like they have a lot of Pokemon right now. When they do, the prices are pretty good though. So shout out Smoke and Mirrors if you happen to stop by their website. They do incredible prices on things. So just going through and searching Pokemon cards on the Shop app, it helps to search for a specific set. So let's search Destin Rivals. Let's see what we got. And the prices will heavily vary. Build and battle. I was like, booster box for $45. Suspicious. But you can see you'll get everything from MSRP or above MSRP to way over market and everything in between. These are all individual stores that kind of handle their own thing. Typically, I'll find a couple of stores that I like their prices on average. And honestly, this is how I get a lot of pre-orders. So like MHS Deals right now has Mega Evolutions booster boxes pre-ordered for $250. Not the best, but not the worst. MSRP, of course, being MSRP 165, I believe. I have one pre-ordered at 165 and one at 225, so we will leave that 250 box alone. The new Destin Rivals 10s, set of 3. I pre-ordered this set from them because I want them. Those 10s look amazing. So, Shop app is another place. Walmart also hit and miss. They have some decent prices that will kind of pop in, especially from the third party. I will say I have to be careful and read some of the reviews. If the price seems too good, then it might be sketchy. Shop at your own peril on the third party websites, or at least the third party platforms through both Amazon and Walmart. So those are all the resale sites. Let's talk about some of the weird places to find them in your community. I have heard all kinds of rumors and information about lots of stores selling them in person. Everything from gas stations to Walgreens, CVS, and your local pharmacy. I know Barnes & Noble is a really big distributor of Pokemon cards. They restock like once a week. You can get points back for purchases and actually get future discounts as you buy Pokemon cards. So that's a great way. Another huge restock that everybody talks about and dreams of is Target. Target has been carrying Pokemon cards for so long. I think they have a good relationship with the producers or the distributors of Pokemon cards because they typically get some of the most restocks and allocations. GameStop is now becoming more and more a card shop than anything, especially with them partnering with PSA to grade cards and selling graded cards. You can carry your cards into a GameStop and pay right then and there to submit them, send them off, and get them back usually a month and a half later. So they restock. Typically, I've seen most GameStops restock on a Friday or a Saturday. The Target restocks kind of hit and miss by each individual store. I have seen some Targets limit the purchase. I've seen some Targets have the stock behind the customer service desk where you have to ask for it specifically so that they can control it more. But they typically get a lot of more interesting, like unique sets, and they're very cheap. Like I got a 2-pack with a promo for $9.99, and one of the packs was, I think, Lost Origin and Scarlet and Violet. It was an interesting mashup set, but for $9.99, that was a heck of a set. Another strange one that I've heard of, I have not been able to confirm, but I've heard a lot of things about it. Macy's, and they have a Toys R Us section or a toy section that will typically have the Pokemon cards kind of hidden behind the desk. You might have to ask for them, but Macy's might be a good place that no one would think of to go for Pokemon cards. BJ's gas stations, Kroger's. If you have a Kroger or a grocery store, Pokemon Center actually has vending machines in certain areas. I was able to search online for like Pokemon vending machine locator and was able to use that to determine. Let's see if we can figure out. To find out where the vending machines are. So let's see. Chicago apparently has a whole bunch of vending machines. Some in central Indiana. There's some in Columbus. A whole bunch of them in the Washington, D.C. area. Baltimore, Philadelphia. Got some up in Massachusetts. Michigan. Denver has some. There's a bunch out in California. Phoenix, Tucson. So if you're in any of these areas, Arlington, I would absolutely recommend you hit up these vending machines. From what I've seen, they've typically Kroger, grocery store. I'm not sure what Tom Thumb is. Albertsons, grocery store. They typically partner with a lot of grocery stores in the area, but they're pretty amazing. They have anti-scalping techniques to where they will time release stock, and you can only buy a very limited amount of stock, even though there'll be a whole bunch more in the machine. Once a certain amount of items are bought, the whole machine will stay out of stock for like an hour or two, and then they will release a certain amount of inventory again. So it's always good if you happen to be nearby to stop in and check. I've picked up stuff from them at MSRP a couple of times. Dollar Generals and Family Dollars are strange places, and Five Below have been places that I've seen Pokemon cards. In fact, Dollar General even gets their own version of like a mini tin, and Walgreens actually gets like their own mini tins that have a promo and 3 packs of cards. And it'll usually be something like 17 or 20 bucks. And those are great but interesting places to check to pick up a little bit of inventory. At the end of the day, your ability to find inventory and save some money doing so kind of relies on how much effort you want to put into it, and if you are willing to do the legwork. One of the things that I use to get some very specific deals, or especially for brand new releases, I use a stock monitoring app. I use PokeNotify. I actually have a partnership with them. If you check any of my video descriptions, you can use my link. I believe it comes with a 3-day trial. I'm not 100% certain, but I do know the link will take you to the store for the app, and it allows you to monitor and set up very specific alerts to online stores as to when things are available. Well, apparently Books A Million is another one besides Barnes & Noble. So if you look here, I have like a new tab in general, and it'll pick up almost any new Pokemon product, which includes t-shirts. Apparently Walmart had a Detective Pikachu bundle, probably a third-party seller. And you got t-shirts. But you can also have alerts set up for individual sets. So if we look up Mega Evolution, you can see that Rare Candy was releasing some on the website. Sakura's Card Shop was releasing some. Sakura's Card Shop is a fairly well-known Japanese Pokemon set. I think they have some English, but it's nowhere near as extensive as their Japanese. In fact, their English is pretty much entirely sold out. But they have a whole bunch of Japanese. Festival, Shiny Treasures, 151. You need a Japanese Pokemon cards? Great place to start. Pokemon Center Hiroshima Special Box. What is that? Why do I not need it? I don't need it. So yeah. This is one of the ways that I pre-order some of the new inventory so I can get it almost immediately on release. That way I can shoot brand new videos that are relevant to when the new set comes out. It's a great way for me to get the Pokemon Center releases where 1, you get the Pokemon Center ETBs, and 2, you get everything at Pokemon Center at MSRP. And if you look, this app will even monitor when the queue is getting ready to activate. If anyone has ever tried to buy from Pokemon Center, they have a digital queue that you have to wait through. And this will even let you know when there's a queue going up so that even before the product's been released, you can get a heads up. And this will be the 3rd set in a row I've gotten a Pokemon Center ETB. I opened a Black Bolt and White Flare to do a comparison. I will be releasing that video soon. And then I also have the 2 ETBs for Mega Evolutions. There's 2 different versions, and I have both of them pre-ordered plus a booster box, all at MSRP. So this is a great app if you are wanting to try to get really good deals or very specific inventory or sets. It's helped me save thousands upon thousands on Pokemon cards. Everything from Journey Together, Prismatic, Destined Rivals. Especially when things like Target, they do online releases like crazy. And a booster bundle for $31.99 is amazing, especially considering 1, it's a pre-order, and 2, it'll probably be $50-$60 when it comes out due to market conditions. In fact, let's check. See how much a White Flare booster bundle is doing right now. Alright, so unreleased current market $63 a piece, and Target is pre-ordering them for $31.99. So yeah, absolutely worth the app. It is about $7.99 a month, and I can guarantee you, if you're looking to seriously get inventory for Pokemon cards and you're wanting to do it at MSRP, this is a great way to do it. And you can choose specific sets, specific vendors, however you want your notifications. And since it's that Discord ran, you can have it on your phone while you're going and just get a pop-up notification. You can click on it. It takes you straight to the item, and sometimes it'll even say add to cart. I can click add to cart. Now, granted, it doesn't work. It's sold out, but if it was, you could add to cart. It has been one of my best friends towards getting inventory, besides actually going out and meeting people and making friends, which has helped me get the connections, has helped me get inventory as well. And this is going to be my summary on all of the ways to get inventory. I will continue to do a once a month smaller giveaway and larger subscriber milestone giveaways. The next major milestone is 5,000. And we've got about a week left on my previous 2 giveaways that we hit. So happy hunting for Pokemon cards. And thanks for watching.